Happy Wednesday, everyone. Allow me to check first my audio, if my audio is clear for everyone. Thank you. How about my screen share? Can you see my screen share? Thank you. Genesis, are we allowed to tag everyone so that we can get the attention of the others who are currently online? I believe I can use everyone. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you, Genesis. Okay, so I will be your podcast host, a market analyst podcast host for today. And the topics will be first is recall of the March 13 gold and BTC analysis that I have hosted. And then after that, I'll give you an update of the Elliott wave counts of both gold and Bitcoin. And then after that, I'll be giving you some bullish and bearish scenarios. And then after that, I'll be sharing to you my new research findings, which is all about uh, quarterly theory, but a different approach. Okay, let's start with the recall first. So I have here let's start with gold. So I have here a 5 minute recall. I have recorded this from the previous session to give you a clear view of uh, what I'm about to update later. Let me turn off my mic first so that the uh, echo will be avoided. If before the end or before the closing of this daily time frame candle, if the price, if the body of the this candle breaks the upper boundary of the implied fair value gap, then I'm expecting that it will create a new all-time. I repeat, however, if this current candle will close below the upper body or the upper boundary, I mean, upper boundary of this implied fair value gap at uh, daily time frame, then we will have we will have a continuation of the correction. And the possible continuation of the correction will be an A, B, and then we have another C here. I repeat, the daily candle must close above the upper boundary of the implied fair value gap. Body broken. I am referring to the body broken. If it is just a week, like for example, this one, let's say it created a week and then let's say the price created a week like this and then but the body is below the what do you call this? Let's say for example this one. So if the body is below the identified implied fair value gap, then expect a continuation of the correction. Of course, we still have uh, Friday to see if this particular implied fair value gap resistance will be broken. But as of now, we have a very good reaction or breakout from this implied fair value gap. Okay. Now let's This time, let's continue with the BTC. Again, let me just show you the situation of the gold in terms of Elliott wave counts. For those who wants to take a screenshot, you may take a screenshot. So these are the price levels. A while ago, the price was still below the second level of our possible target for the fifth wave. We still have the last target. If we base it on the standard deviation, the Elliott wave way, the -4 is at 2,940. As of now, the both Elliott wave measurement and standard deviation, the Elliott wave way, are within the price projection that we are expecting based on the Elliott wave theory. Okay, so after this, what are the possible bounce area? So if the correction will happen, here I have identified already a 2R or a 2R time frame implied fair value gap. So once the correction happens, let's say, for example, I've mentioned that once the implied fair value gap uh, or the daily candle closes below the upper boundary of this implied fair value gap, then we are expecting a possible three waves correction. And the next possible target will be this H2. So I will be the host again after 2 weeks. So it all depends on what will happen on the closing of the daily time frame. So if the daily time frame candle closes above the identified implied fair value gap, expect that there will be an all-time high price in the next days or next week. But if the price uh, closes below this implied fair value gap at daily time frame, then we expect a correction. And then after the correction, that's the time that we will see a new all-time high. Okay, so that's the recall of the previous session or my previous session. Now let's see what happened after that. So uh, as you can see, the analysis was made 2 weeks ago, and then I even said in the last part of the recall video that we are expecting a new all-time high, and days after that, uh, days after the analysis, we saw the new all-time high price. Imagine the price during that time was around here, and what we're expecting is that it will uh, around here, and then what we are expecting is that if the implied fair value gap at the daily time frame will be impulsively broken, meaning body broken, we will see a new all-time high, a five-wave uptrend. And currently, what is the Elliott wave counts of gold in terms of Elliott wave theory? So, but before that, allow me to share some of the previous analysis that I have made to give you a better understanding of what I am about to update in the Elliott wave update of gold. So here are some analysis that I have made for gold. Okay, so here's the example of the analysis that I have made last March 25. After uh, getting the peak of the fifth, or rather the third wave here, I expected that it will create uh, it will do a correction. And these are the current counts, and let's see what is happening, or rather this was the Elliott wave update last March 25, and then I have identified another implied fair value gap at uh, daily time frame. So let's see how this daily time frame implied fair value gap is uh, res- uh, being tested and respected. Then after that, here's my trade yesterday. Um, I have identified a an implied fair value gap at 45 minutes time frame, and then as you can see, it is well respected. It was tested twice, actually thrice. This 20, March 21, twice it was tested, and then March 25, it was tested again, and it was a snipe entry for my uh, semi-swing position. And then after that, um, I created a different intraday trades, or I did find some intraday trades based on the previous body candle theory, wherein the opening and the closing of the daily time frame is a very good key level for entering or closing a position. And in this case, the basis for the basis for the entry for the first position here is the previous daily body low, the low of the previous day body, and then targeting at least the previous day body high. And if we see an impulsive movement, then the previous day high will be taken or will be swept. And in this case, since an implied fair value gap at daily time frame uh, was identified as well, instead of just the PDH or the previous day high uh, as my final uh, take profit price, I have considered the daily time frame implied fair value gap. Now, to show you what happened after this, allow me to open uh, the the chart. So as you can see, let's look at it closely, and then allow me to activate uh, my personal indicator. Personal indicator, which means I have manually coded this. Okay, as you can see, this is the reaction that I have experienced from my trade last March 25. So from the previous day body low, I am referring to the body of the candle of the daily time frame. An entry using the previous day body low, targeting the previous day body high, the previous day high, and in this case, the implied fair value gap at daily time frame. And if we will check that implied fair value gap at daily time frame, allow me to switch to the daily time frame for you to be able to see the implied fair value gap that I have identified. The implied fair value gap, as I have said, is a three candle pattern whose middle candle is a large bodied candle, and uh, the two surrounding candles are overlapping each other. So in this case, this one and this one are overlapping. So all I have to do is get the the 50% of the previous day, the daily time frame, the previous candle, I mean, sorry, the previous candle, or to the left of the large bodied candle, the 50% of that. And then you may also take the implied fair value gap that can be in the lower boundary, but I what I usually consider is just the upper boundary in a bearish scenario, and then the lower boundary of the implied fair value gap in a bullish scenario. And in this case, after identifying the implied fair value gap, you will see a very good reaction in the lower time frame. Basically, the implied fair value gap that I have identified in the daily time frame is like a resistance before making a breakout. So in this case, as long as the um, price movement is below this daily implied fair value gap, we will not see any uh, new all-time high yet. However, if this daily implied fair value gap gets uh, impulsively broken, just like what I've said in the recall video, if this implied fair value gap will be impulsively broken, meaning at the end of the daily time frame, if at the end of the daily time frame, if this implied fair value, if the body of the current candle will impulsively break the this implied fair value gap here, then that's the only time that I will forecast a new all-time high. However, that's not just the one. That's just one of the many things that I use in um, in confirming whether there will be a breakout going to the new all-time high or not. As an Elliotician, I always check the market structure or the wave counts. So allow me to show you the wave counts of the gold using the daily time, the smaller time frame. So what's the current situation of the uh, gold? Obviously, this is our wave one, wave two, just and then this one, the impulsive movement from March 11 to uh, March 20, or the new all-time high, is considered as the impulsive movement. Therefore, uh, in Elliott wave theory, the longest uh, trend is always the wave three, or usually the wave three. So this is wave one, wave two, wave three. Now we are on the wave four correction. Now, to show you the current correction of the wave four, let me show you the possible Elliott wave counts. Okay. So if I'm going to count this wave, this will be my wave zero, wave one. This will be my wave two. This will be my wave three. I will not go to the details of the internal waves, I mean, of this, but I will just give you the higher time frame or the higher degree Elliott wave counts. So the bullish invalidation of a possible five-wave uptrend is the price of wave one. In Elliott wave theory, in an impulsive movement, wave four should not retrace beyond the territory of wave one. There are cases that wave four retraces beyond the territory of wave one. However, That's not the case if there is an impulsive movement. When I say impulsive movement, if I'm going to measure the the movement after the retracement of wave 2 here, wave 3 is usually, if you're going to use the Fibonacci extension or the Fib extension, the levels for wave 3 will be 1.618, 1.414 to 1.618. And if we will check that price, this confirms that uh, there is an impulsive movement because the price pump for around 1.618. So 1.618. So this confirms that this is an impulsive movement. Okay? And then since this is confirmed that an impulsive movement, what will be the invalidation of this encircled wave 4? The invalidation of this encircled wave 4 is the price of the encircled wave 1. So let me label this as bullish first line of defense. So, and then this will, my last line of defense will be this price or the wave 2 price. So I'm calling it, actually, these are just invalidations of Elliott wave theory. I'm just using the terms last line, first line of defense and last line of defense uh, for not for the non-Elliottician traders there to so that they can easily understand it. So what's the acceptable retracement level for wave 4? So in Elliott wave theory, what we do is we measure or we use the Fib retracement tool from wave 2 to wave 1. Since this is confirmed impulsive movement, the acceptable retracement or the ideal retracement level are the following: 0.236, 0.382 to 0.5. So allow me to use the level so that you can see the levels here. So currently, wave 4 uh, touches the first level of retracement for wave 4, which is 0.236. So what's next after this? I need to confirm the internal wave counts of this before I can say that there will be a possible reversal. And then later on, I will be sharing to you some tips on the uh, possible entry or refining your entry using the Elliott wave theory. So now allow me to explain the current correction. So what is the current correction right now? So the current correction right now looks like this. Okay. So this is the possible correction. Okay. If I'm going to be de very detailed on this, allow me to go to the lower time frame or the smallest time frame. So the reason why I label this as zigzag, meaning 535, simply because the internal waves are the following. We have here wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and then 5. So zigzag or ABC is a type of correction wherein uh, the counting is 535. We have 5, and then here instead of 3, the the correction here or the intervening wave B is labeled as wave, or rather uh, symmetrical triangle or a triangle correction. In other words, it is composed of 5 sets of 3, 5 sets of 3, and then here is the confirmation that there will be a actually I was not able to show you the actual video. I have created a video of this of my trade. If ever you're interested, you may visit my social media accounts. You will see a lot of live analysis there wherein I share my trades live in the Facebook. As of now, I am active in Facebook, but soon I will be active in TikTok or Instagram. Okay, and then after that, since ABC is a 5-3-5 correction, therefore this should also the internal waves of wave B to C should also be 5 waves. In this case, allow me to show you the 5 waves, and we have here the 5 waves. But if you're going to use the higher time frame here, you will not see these smaller fractal waves, the which will complete the first ABC. So we have the first ABC, and then we have here another WXY. For those who are not familiar with um, Elliott wave theory, the difference between WXY correction and an ABC correction is simple. In the ABC correction, for example, A, B, and then C. In the ABC correction, the usual counting looks like this. This is an ABC correction. ABC, that's the reason why it's called 1, 2, 3 counts, or rather 5, 3, 5 counts, I mean, sorry. Simply because the internal waves are composed of the 5, 3, 5 wave counts. So this is an example of a zigzag. I repeat, this is a zigzag correction or an ABC correction. Now, what's the difference between a zigzag correction and a WXY correction or the double combo correction? The double combo correction looks like a three-wave pattern. However, the difference here is that the internal waves is composed of 3 waves only. 3 waves. So that's the difference between these two types of correction. I repeat, this is zigzag, this is zigzag. Zigzag is a 5-3-5 correction pattern. Here is a double. If you forgot to the name of this correction, you may just simply look at the following here, or we can call it as double combo wave or double combo. Okay, or we can name them by their labeling. This is an ABC correction. The other one is a WXY correction. I repeat, the difference between a zigzag and a double combo correction is that in the zigzag, the internal waves is 5-3-5, counted as 5-3-5. However, in the double combo, the internal waves is counted as 3-3-3. So if the internal waves is 3-3-3, we call it as double combo or WXY. If 5-3-5, we call it as zigzag or ABC. Now, with that in mind, first 3 waves that we have identified here has an internal wave of 5, and then 3, and then 5. By the way, for the intervening wave or the wave B, it can be a triangle it can be a zigzag or it can be a double combo. So for this intervening wave, I'm referring to the intervening wave. This one, the A to B. Okay. And then after that, I thought the price will impulsively go down after the wave B here for an impulsive 5 waves. However, that's not what the market gave us. The market gave us an ABC or a 3 waves up or a WXY correction. The reason why it's WXY, just like what I have said a while ago, the internal waves is A, B, C. A, B, C. A, B, and then we have the C here. So since we have A, B, C, we have five, or rather 3 sets of ABCs, we consider this as WXY correction. Perhaps some of you may want to check, want to ask questions. I will be entertaining questions later on. But first, allow me to explain what's the current situation of the gold so that you will be guided at least a directional bias based on the Elliott wave theory. Now that we have the WXY here, so as you can see, I label this as the X, Y, X, Y. Simply because, as you can see here, after ABC, I label it as W. That's what I did here. After that, we got the 3 waves up, and that's the X or the intervening wave. And then after that, if you will check the lower time frame of this one, for some this may look like 1 wave only, but if you will try to look at it in the lower time frame, this can be considered as 5 waves down. That's why I label this as wave A again because of the internal waves is 5. If this is obvious 1, 2, 3, or ABC, I'll label this as WXY. However, it's not. So I'll label this as A, and then from here, if we will try to go back here, once we have the A here, we will expect a B. A to B, A to B here is at 3 waves up. So what's that 3 waves up? The 3 waves up here is, this is the wave A, wave B, and wave C. Therefore, we have completed this part, the wave A to wave B here. What's next? We have to complete the internal waves of this wave B to wave C here to complete the WXY correction or the double combo. Now, in this case, since this is A, B, C, what I'm expecting is first waves will be 5 waves. So let's check. One, we have one, two, three, four, 5. So please refer to once I label it as ABC, I'm referring to a zigzag 535 correction. Now I have this C. And where is that C here? The C here is this part. We are on the wave A or the first 5 waves, and then it went up again for the wave B here. I will label this as wave B. However, this is uh, not a usual correction, because as you can see here, if we will just simply label this as a double combo wherein we have zigzag, 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 and then, or a zigzag, zigzag, and then another zigzag. If you will try to look at it carefully, I don't see another 5 waves down. Because here, if we will try to go back here, Just like what I have said, the wave A, B, C here should be 535. However, or 535 like this, the ABC here. However, we have the first 5 waves. This will satisfy a possible WXY or double combo correction. But here, if we will try to look at it carefully, we I don't see any uh, uh, 5 waves down from here. So what will be the alternative scenario for this type of correction? So the alternative scenario will be, allow me to hide first some of the internal waves. So what will be the possible situation now? This is a type of WXY correction which is called a combination. What is this combination? Allow me to use, okay, for reference, I'll be using Elliott Wave International so that you will have an idea of what I'm trying to illustrate. This is the type of correction that I am seeing right now for Bitcoin. Or rather, sorry, not Bitcoin, but gold. We have the ABC, successful ABC here, just like what I have illustrated, and a successful X. And then, however, we have here the first ABC, but we don't see another 5 waves down after the wave B. If we will try to go back here, after the wave B, I'm expecting 5 waves down that will break the price of wave A, just like in the this type of correction here, like this one. It will break the the wave A. After the wave B, it will break the price level of the wave A. However, in the gold, that did not happen. So the possible type of correction will be this type of correction, which is called uh, flat, zigzag, and then a triangle. Therefore, I will label this as a triangle. So what will be the start of the entire W to Y will be considered as a, a triangle. Okay. So if we will try to look at the trend line, so the trend line should look like this. It should start with B to D and then from A to C. So this can be considered as an A B C D E. Of course, the invalidation of this will be this particular trend line. If the price goes beyond to the territory of the wave C here, that's the first sign of triangle invalidation using this type of correction. But if the price will bounce around here, then we will see a new all-time high. But just like what I have mentioned a while ago, we have an implied fair value gap resistance. The implied fair value gap resistance can be found the daily time frame. So for that new all-time high to before it will create a new all-time high, it must break this implied fair value gap at the daily time frame. So we have here the trend line resistance. We have the trend line resistance here and the trend line support. Once we break that trend line resistance and trend line support, impulsively, meaning the closing of the daily candle will body breaks this implied fair value gap here, then we will see a new all-time high. I mean, however, if the price will not break that implied fair value gap, there will be a different correction that will possibly go uh, go a little bit lower as long as it is above the price of our wave 1. So the acceptable price level will be 0.236, 0.382, and 0.5. As of now, the correction that we can consider based on the price action that the gold is doing is the flat zigzag triangle correction. So the best way to enter this trade is at wave E, using wave C or wave C as your first line of defense and last line of defense as wave A. And where is that wave A, wave C? This is your first line of defense. This is your last line of defense. Once this first line and last line of defense will be broken, expect another 5 waves down. That's the bearish scenario. As of now, it is still bullish. And to give you an idea why it is still bullish, we have an implied fair value gap that can be found at 3-hour time frame. The implied fair value gap that I'm referring to is this one. Just like what I have said, an implied fair value gap is a 3-candle pattern wherein the middle candle is a large bodied candle, and the two surrounding candles are overlapping each other. And as you can see, we have here an implied fair value gap at 3-hour time frame. Let me label this as H3, H3. And as you can see, look at this carefully, how the price respected this implied fair value gap. Actually, this is my entry. I have a running position right now because I have identified this in advance, and I think I have shown you the implied fair value gap a while ago. Okay? Allow me to check some questions first. I've seen a lot. No. Please, do you plot the wave line manually by yourself or there is an indicator? When you're doing Elliott wave counts or Elliott wave analysis or trading, you will be the one to do the labeling. The reason why I did not show the wave by wave plotting is that it will take a lot of the time and I need to update some uh I need to do some updates on BTC, and I will be mentioning my research finding, or I will be sharing some of my research finding, specifically the quarter deep theory. Okay, going back here, so if I'm going to plot or to identify, if we will be using the technical terms of ICT, my implied fair value gap support is this H3. This is the possible bounce level for a bullish scenario, and the resistance will be the implied fair value gap at daily time frame at 3036. So whatever of the two will be broken first, impulsively broken first, then that will be the bias. In other words, if the if the H3 implied fair value gap here will be impulsively broken, we will see 5 waves down. But if the daily time frame or D1 here is impulsively broken in the daily time frame candle, then we will see a new all-time high because I don't see any other possible resistance that will stop the gold from creating a new all-time high here. So this is the implied fair value gap resistance that I am seeing. So that's the situation for the gold. I repeat, resistance or the support, implied fair value gap support is at 3,012.65 using the GBE brokers, and then the implied fair value gap resistance is at 3,036.10. So whichever of the two will be body broken first will be the bias for gold. But based on Elliott wave counts, we have here the acceptable flat zigzag triangle scenario. So as long as it will respect this trend line resistance here, and it will bounce above this, or it will bounce at this H3 implied fair value gap, then we may see a new all-time high in the next days. However, I repeat, if the wave C, first line of defense, and wave A, last line of defense, will be broken, expect 5 waves down. Okay? Now this time, let's proceed to gold. Or rather, sorry, not gold, but Bitcoin. I will not be showing you the entire video here, but allow me to just mute this and manually fast forward it. Let me go to the last part because this is the recorded uh, analysis. So just to show you that based on the previous session or previous podcast session, we have I have identified a leading diagonal that will uh, when becomes successful will proceed to wave 3 or a possible 5 wave uptrend. And let's now check what's the situation after this leading diagonal here. And by the way, this is not my position. There was a whale who shorted BTC. When was that? March 25. I checked the liquidation price, the entry price, and the possible target. And then if that whale did not close his 6,100 something BTC position, uh, probably he got liquidated already. Okay. Allow me to go back to the analysis that I have made using this one. So this is the leading diagonal that I have mentioned in the video. Leading diagonal simply because wave 4 retraces beyond the territory of wave 1. So if I'm going to uh, label this is wave 0, wave 1, sorry, this is wave 0, wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is a type of motive wave wherein it is called as ending diagonal. Why ending, or sorry, leading diagonal? Because this is the start of the possible uptrend. So that's why it's called leading. Wave 4 retraces beyond the territory of wave 1. That's the difference between an impulsive. If in impulsive, the wave 1 should not retrace, the wave 4 should not retrace the territory of wave 1. That's impulsive motive wave. But here, this motive wave or the 5 wave uptrend, the wave 4 retraces beyond the territory of wave 1. That's why I call this as leading diagonal. And then from there, if you can still remember the video that I have shown you a while ago, we will see a correction. And we did a correction. And then after that, it created a high here. Actually, this is the CME gap that I have mentioned in my previous session. And then here is an implied fair value gap at 4-hour time frame. If you want to see the implied fair value gap yourself, here's the implied fair value gap. Large bodied candles, surrounding candles are weak, have an overlapping week. That's why this is my first target. And let's check on that first target. It was impulsively broken already at 4-hour time frame. So I'm expecting this possible correction. So this correction right now was analyzed live. This was shared and analyzed live. So the current correction of the Bitcoin now is that we have here a possible nested one twos, meaning we have three sets of 5 waves, but we will analyze it wave by wave. So in this case, the internal waves of this one, we are now approaching wave 4. And if I'm going to, bullish invalidation for an impulsive scenario is the price of 84,519. What are the possible levels for my wave 4? It's either the H2 implied fair value gap 85,488 or at H4 at 84,829. Once we respect the price respects these two implied fair value gap, we will be seeing the next target, which is the weekly. The next is the anticipated M1. When I say anticipated, I'm referring to the monthly time frame. Look at this monthly time frame. The the price is not the monthly candle will be closed, of course, at the end of the month. However, I have seen a large candle, a bodied candle here, and with two overlapping weeks. So in other words, this can be an anticipated target for your bullish scenario after the closing. So probably after March, at the end of the month, the possible uh, shorting shorting price will be the week of this to this, which is the anticipated. The reason why I called it as anticipated implied fair value gap, simply because the current monthly candle, uh, is not closed yet. So going back, so what's the situation? Since the H4 was already impulsively broken, this is H4. This is impulsively broken, so therefore the I am expecting that it will uh, it will retest the anticipated monthly time frame, which is at monthly time frame fair value gap at 91,445. Once we break that impulsively before the end of the month, then the next target will be the weekly implied fair value gap at 101. So those are the situations for Bitcoin. And now let me share you some of the analysis that I have made on that Bitcoin to show you that some of the live analysis that I have shared. Let's start with this one. By the way, this is my position, my swing position for Bitcoin using uh, Bybit FX. That's why BTC USDT. They have an MT5. So 77,949. And then these are my FBG or implied fair value gap mapping. My entry, that's why it's green. Entry is at H1 or M45. I have a limit order for this two. And then my first target will be H4. Once we break that or body break that H4, next target will be the anticipated M1, and third target will be the week implied fair value gap at 329.35. So these are the wave by wave updates after hitting the target H4, which is at 87,171. Look at the reaction. Then after that, it created the 5 waves up for the wave encircled wave 3. And then I am expecting, look at this projection, the waves 3, 4, 5, A, B, C is not yet completed in this particular price action last March 25. But if you will try to look at the current counts of gold, you will see that it created or it followed my projection based on the Elliott wave counts. This to this, you will see it yourself. So the last part of my analysis will be a allow me to close everything first. Sorry. I need to close it by group. Close group. Okay. Okay, the QTR. For those who are not familiar with QTR or quarterly theory from the word itself, a year is divided into 4 quarters. A month is divided into 4 quarters. A week is divided into 4 quarters. A day is divided into 4 quarters. Then the 4 quarters of the day are the Asian, the London, the New York, and then the PM session. And if you will try to look at the trading sessions, again, you can't see these indicators. These are manually coded. Okay. If you will try to look at these uh, London and New York sessions or Asian, London, and New York sessions, you will see overlapping sessions. So these overlapping sessions will give you an idea of the possible quarterly theory. I repeat, quarterly theory by day is a time-based trading session based on the 4 quarters of the day. However, the quarterly theory R or reloaded that I will be sharing to you is a quarterly theory uh, based on the overlapping of the 2 sessions. Here we have the London and then we have the New York here. The London and the New York um, overlapping sessions will be the quarterly theory reloaded. Excuse me. So allow me to use a different indicator for this. Okay, and I want you to look at this quarterly theory reloaded indicator. Okay, by the way, this part here, the is the uh, overlapping of the Asian and the London session. This is the overlapping. I call this as quarterly QTR phase one. So the quarterly uh, quarterly or the possible AMDX or AMD of the overlapping session of the Asian and the London. Here the is the overlapping of the sessions London and New York. Okay. So how do you use this? Based on my findings, my research, um, it all depends on the first quarter of that overlapping session. Here, as you can see, the first quarter of that overlapping session, this one, I'm referring to the Asian and London session. The first quarter, I want you to look at the trend. The trend is um, uptrend. So if the quarterly or the of the first quarter of that overlapping session is in within the middle of a what you call this middle of a trend or a continuation of the trend, do not expect that the second quarter of the overlapping session of the Asian and London will sweep the first quarter of that overlapping or the QTR. QTR1. Let's call this as QTR1, QTR2, QTR3, QTR4. So seldom it will sweep the low of the QTR1 of the overlapping sessions of the Asian and the London session. Usually, the sweep of the QTR1 will only happen in the reversal, but this one is obviously not a reversal. Allow me to show you an example of the QTR of the current session. So the QTR or the quarterly theory of this session is this one. Okay, we have the first quarter, the second quarter of the overlapping sessions of the New York and the London. Since here we have the the first quarter here or the QTR1 is at the peak of the this trend, then we can see a reversal. Here, if we will try to look at this one, this is not at the peak, so we continue the trend line. Here, we have a reversal that happened here. So if you want to trade this, all you have to do is get the OTA of the first quarter session or any point that you would like to use within this first quarter. And then from here, trade it and then uh, plot your levels for your possible target. In my case, I am using the implied fair value gap. In this particular quarterly theory session or reloaded session is the HT. And from here to here, we see a very good reaction from my POI of the first quarter of the overlapping sessions of the London and the New York to the implied fair value gap at uh, 3-hour time frame. And then if we will try to look at some of the examples, allow me to use a different time frame, you will see the beautiful reaction of that overlapping sessions. I want you to observe it yourself. What I gave you is just the the shallow explanation of the quarterly theory reloaded or the quarterly theory of the overlapping sessions of Asian and London, uh, and then London and New York. You will see the AMDX or the XAMD in that overlapping sessions of the New York and the London and the New York. And what's nice about this is that the distribution or the manipulation will only happen on the second quarter or on the third quarter. Once you have identified the trend, of course, uh, you have a structure strategy, then the best way to trade the overlapping of the London and New York session is on the second quarter and the third quarter. The second and the third, you will the impulsive movement will usually happen on the second and the third. Here, it happened on the second. Here, it happened on the third quarter. Here, it happened the equal, almost equal to each other. And then in the previous, in this one, the distribution happened in the second quarter. So I want you to, I am not asking you to use that as your main trading strategy, but I have been using that uh, for for almost 2 months now, and I've seen a very good pattern based on the data that I have gathered. So that will be all for today. My apologies if I'm not so uh, particular with the questions on the chat because I am giving you an update of the gold and the Bitcoin, and I would like to share to you some of my findings. For those who are interested in my research findings about trading, wherein you can see it in